Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to review the Ready to Love reunion part one, y'all. Y'all, should we laugh? Should we cry? Should we be disgusted, angry? I don't know. I don't know, y'all. But hey, I know this is reunion part one, and there was a lot of going on. And as y'all saw from my thumbnail, I'm retitling it Dating While Broken. Yep, that's what I'm going to retitle it. I know Tommy's walking around at the beginning of the show in their little introduction talking about Ready to Love is the most successful dating show in television history. No, it ain't, Tommy. Lies on top of lies on top of lies. Where does Tommy get this stuff from? Just like that bad advice he gave Tay for Cisco, which it looks like we're going to find out it was bad advice because I don't even think they're together. But this is not the most successful dating show. Well, let me say this. It might be the most successful dating show in exposing all of the unhealed parts and trauma that people bring to the dating market and how it explodes. That's why I'm calling this episode Dating While Broken. I liken it to driving while drunk. You see, people tell you don't drive when you're drunk because you're impaired. Your judgment is impaired. Your reflexes are impaired. Everything you're seeing or hearing is impaired by the alcohol. And when you date while you are broken, Rose, Cam, Angie, drunk people hurt people. They not only hurt themselves, they also hurt other people on the road. And what we have here is we have people who are dating while broken. And in that, they are not only causing damage to themselves, they are causing damage to other people. Now, when the first show first came on, I already saw that Kiera and Jay were not coupled up and booed up with the whole my man, my man, my man. So I know we ain't got to their story yet, but I already know they not together. You could tell by the body language. I could tell Tay and Cisco weren't together by their body language. There was a mile apart between them. I kind of want to even almost open up this whole review with a prayer for everybody because everybody needs healing. And I'm not talking about sexual healing, Rose, over there sleeping with Cam. And for all of those who said Sahara chose herself, looks like Sahara doubled on back. Like I told you, you just can't look at why people do things. You got to also know why they do them. So between Cam, Rose, Sahara, all of them, Angie, they need to start thinking about why they do the things that they do. Because if they don't investigate their own behavior and their own motivations and how they are impaired, they're going to keep driving out there on the road drunk. They're going to keep dating while broken, and they're going to keep having the same outcomes. From the very beginning, we saw that Rose didn't look happy. And I'm thinking, girl, how much time has passed before this reunion? Does anybody know when they filmed this reunion? I know they must have filmed it long before the hiatus. I don't know. But Rose was still torn up at this reunion, crying over who? Hussein and Camp? Are you kidding me, Rose? Girl, Rose is so dangerous in the dating world, y'all. She's so dangerous to herself. She's so dangerous to others. Instead of me chastising her or, anything being too harsh, she really needs prayer. Rose needs healing. When you listen to Rose, she speaks from such a deep place of hurt and past trauma. Like I said, impaired. She don't even see it. She's the driver on the road who's the one that's been drinking, but she's blaming all the accidents on everyone else. She doesn't see how herself is arriving to the relationship. It would be very hard to be in a relationship with Rose because I know a lot of people look at it as she doesn't take accountability. That's true. But the reason why she can't take accountability yet is because Rose is so unhealed that she is in deep protection mode of her past traumas. You see, when you are protecting yourself, it's hard to take accountability of how you're hurting others or even yourself because your main focus is to protect yourself. This is where all the lies start with Rose. Her lies are there to protect herself. She doesn't even have the capacity to see your point of view, your side of things, because she is so hurt that she has to use all her energy to protect herself. You see, when you hear Rose's words, Hussein robbed her of her happy ending. She's not looking at any part of her contribution. It's just that in the end, she didn't get what she wants. She was robbed, not her contribution, not what she did, but in the end, how she was hurt. It's how she feels. It's her emotions. How she says Hussein played her like an MF. It's all her emotion, her feelings. And here's the thing about Rose. She has no ability in this moment to control or even understand her own hurt. And so she overly prescribes all of her pain to whoever comes near her. Remember, I said about Rose being the Proverbs wife, trying to be so perfect. What she's really trying to do in that perfectness is to protect herself. She was trying to protect herself. And here's the thing. She speaks with such conviction. She speaks with such passion that anyone who would just meet Rose, you will be inclined to believe her until you start catching her in all her lies. You know, we find out that even the story about Hussein being incarcerated, Rose, that ain't it. That ain't it. Your man, your baby daddy being in jail, who was convicted by a jury, serving in jail for 67 years, who knows when he's getting out, is not the same as Hussein's story. And do I believe Hussein over Rose? I absolutely do. And the reason why I do is because Rose has a history of telling stories that protects her to protect herself versus protect another person. You would go uncovered in a relationship with Rose. The ironic part about Rose is she's out here talking about she's out here in the world to protect others and she's here to give to everybody and be a caretaker. No, Rose is out there trying to get protection for herself. But in the midst of that, she is leaving others unprotected. Rose lies to protect herself, right? She lies to protect herself. And a lot of the ladies are starting to figure out. Later on in the episode, we hear even Sahara say when Angie is spiraling out and Angie's going off and she's over there cussing out Cam, even Sahara said it must have been Rose. Because what Rose does in an effort to protect herself, she attacks and triggers others, but she don't see it. And then once it comes back on her, she's the victim. All of that pain that Rose has, years of it, it's piled up. She tries to transfer all of that hurt onto others, and that becomes where you be responsible. She tries to make you responsible for all the hurt in her life and trauma and why she's showing up the way she is. Remember the last time I told you guys the story of why Rose's baby daddy was in prison was important. And let me tell you why it's important. It's even more important because, like I said back then, I need to know how connected were you to the crimes of this man, even though you're not in prison. I need to know how you were showing up in a relationship with a man who's now serving time. And this idea that Rose has disconnected herself from this man, right? As she says, I forgot all about it. And because I forgot about it, it should not be important to you. That's what she's trying to tell everyone. Because I've disconnected from it, then it shouldn't be important to you. Once again, Rose is only thinking about herself because it is important to her to disconnect. So she wants you to choose the same thing for your life, even though it's not in your own best interest, but that's what she wants. Now I got to ask myself, why has Rose disconnected herself so much from this man? Now, that's why I say it's important, because if I watch how Rose moves out here with men, I can start to believe that Rose has so far disconnected herself from the reason why this man is in prison, even though, even though, even though there could be some connection to it. You see, Rose is the type of person whereby she will be there, but when things go wrong, you gonna take all the blame. You can catch a case with Rose. You absolutely can catch a case with Rose, because when Rose tells a story, she don't tell the whole story. When Rose tells a story, you're the perpetrator and she's the victim, because she's always the victim. You see, that's why I said I want to know why that man was in prison, what happened, and what was the connection between her and Rose. I'm not trying to say Rose should be in prison herself, but this strong, strong reason for Rose to want to totally erase that time from her memory, and then everybody else shouldn't care about it. And then the way I see the way Rose moves out here, I got concerns. I got real concerns. Like I said, don't drive while you are drunk, and don't date while you are impaired and broken, because inevitably, you will hurt others and you will also hurt yourself. And that advice that Tay gave Rose about, girl, go out here and be Meg the Stallion, be a savage. When people hurt you, go out in the world and be a savage. That was horrible advice. That was horrible advice to encourage Rose to take her hurt and her trauma and her pain and then to turn it around and make it become rage. That's horrible advice. That's what she's doing now. Instead of dealing with the hurt and the pain, she's out there in the world dealing with it in a form of anger and rage. And that's not where she needs to be. That's not where she needs to go over there and deal with that hurt and the pain, and stop blaming other people for stuff that has happened to her in the past. And she's making it's a vicious cycle. It's so hard to watch, and it's such a horrible cycle that she's in. I really feel sorry for her. I really do. And I mentioned to you about Cam, his own issues. I've been saying it over and over again, and I'm going to stick to it. Cam is broken too. And when I told you before that I thought Cam was going to choose Sahara, I stick with it. He was going to choose Sahara. But if y'all remember my videos, I often talked about why he was going to choose Sahara. And I said, the reason why he was going to choose Sahara is because Cam likes to choose women who are broken. And although people want to only see strengths in Sahara, there's a part of Sahara that is broken. She may not want to admit it. That's okay. That's okay. Everybody got to come to their own understanding in their own time. But Cam has a unique ability to see the brokenness in women. Every woman that he liked had a part of them that needed to be really healed. Sahara, Rose, and Angie, they all have these deep wounds that Cam likes to come in and be the hero. I know a lot of people said Cam is arrogant. He thinks every woman should bow down to him. He thinks he's that. Well, yeah, that comes with a person who has a hero complex. Do you think a hero, if you're going to be a hero on the world, you got to believe that you can save people. And in trying to save people, that means you got to believe that you have something that they need. So maybe that's what you all are sensing in his arrogance, in his belief that he can just have any woman. But you also got to think about, why does he have a hero complex? Because I believe deep down in there with Cam, deep down in there, he likes to save women because those women will become beholden to him. They will stick with him. That's what I believe. He likes to rescue people so that those people will stick up underneath him. You see, he has a hero complex, but he's not saving you to help you. He is saving you to fulfill himself. That's why he's out here with all these women. That's why Shanice, whoever else they're exposing him in terms of he wants to be with a bunch of women. Yeah, because let me tell you, when you have this strong need to constantly be fulfilled with women who make you feel good and make you feel like a hero, then you're constantly feeling a void in your life. You got to always go out and get it fed. Just like he said, yeah, have I cheated before? Absolutely, you've cheated before. And he said, and when I get the urge, I don't want to be a cheater. I just want you to be okay with it. What he's saying is urges mean you can't control your urges. Urges are when you are addicted to something, i.e., rescuing people, healing people. When I have the urge to go rescue another woman, I'm going to need you to let me go do it because I'm addicted to it, because I get a high off of it. It makes me feel good. This is what I want, and I don't know how to control it. It's no different than a drug addict or any other person. When you have urges that are destructive to your life, but then what you want is you want everyone to sit around and placate it and say, well, they're the ones that need to adjust to my urges. No, Cam, what you got to figure out is why are you so addictive to running around finding broken women that you can try to save so that you feel good. You're not even trying to save them to really make them feel better or to heal them. You're trying to save them and be with them so you feel good. You're not even a real hero. Okay? Let me tell it. You're not even a real hero. You out here trying to heal yourself, your pain, and you're trying to use these women who are also broken to make you feel good. You see what I'm saying? So was he going to choose Sahara? He was. And I'm going to go back to it again. I'm going to say when Sahara said no to Cam at that altar, she was doing it to save herself the shame because she didn't believe that Cam was going to choose her in that moment. But he was going to choose her for the wrong reasons, but he was going to choose her. And then after the show was over, what did Sahara say she did? She went right back over there and dated him. You know why? She went right back over there because now she didn't have the public scrutiny. Sahara was saving face. She didn't want to look stupid on TV, to be standing up there waiting for a man to pick her. And then he said no. It was her pride. But did Sahara want to try to be with Cam? She did. And after the camera stopped rolling, in her private moments, she went over there. She opened the door back up to Cam. And the minute that Cam did not continue to give her the security that she wanted, she blocked him. She blocked him, once again, protecting herself from hurt. What Sahara wants is she wants love. That's what she wants. She wants love. And any little bit of thing spooks Sahara. Just like they tried to tell her, well, how can the man text you when you're blocking him? Because when people are hurt, their first instinct is to protect themselves. They're not thinking rationally. Any rational person would say, how can I call you and text you if you block me? That's rational thinking. But when you are impaired, you've been drinking, you don't think rationally. And Sahara does not think rationally either. She does not. I don't care what she says. I don't care what anyone else says. I don't care anything about Sahara chose herself. I'm talking about not what she did, but why she did it. And if she does not get to the bottom of why she does things, she will continue to do it because she will continually to be spooked out here in the dating world. She will be spooked all the time. So she will never, ever probably get to know a guy because she will be spooked so soon. And when she is spooked, she either runs or she puts up a defense mechanism, which will stop her from being able to be in a relationship. Like I said, stop dating while broken. Stop driving while drunk. And Angie, the miss, I will bust out your windows on your car. And here we are, darn near a year later. And Angie's still talking about, let's not talk about my behavior. Let's talk about your behavior. Well, you know what, Angie? No, we got to talk about your behavior, because your behavior is your life. You see, we don't really need to talk about others' behavior, because if we're here for you, Angie, we got to concentrate on you. And even in that moment with Angie and Cam at the end of the episode, where they figured out that Rose was over there behind the scenes causing a kerfuffle, which we're going to talk about too. And Angie came over there, busting out behind the curtains. Keep my MFing name out my mouth. And Sahara figured out, why are you so upset? What's going on? Come to find out, it was Rose over there behind the background telling Angie that Cam said the reason why he didn't want to choose you is because there was violence and aggression against your ex. And then what Angie said was it was a lie. It wasn't a lie. I believe it. It wasn't a lie. I believe it. Once again, here's a person operating out of their emotions and not out of logic. Angie, the way you just approached Cam, the way you just did this MFing thing, if I were Cam, I would go right out to the parking lot and I would check on my car and my house to make sure no windows are busted. Because what Angie just did in that aggression and that attack is what Cam accused her of in her past relationship. Angie has admitted to it. She sat on this reunion and hasn't had any regret, remorse, learning, growth from it. And what Angie is attacking Cam for, even in his own issues, what Angie was saying was, I was never aggressive and assertive in my last relationship, so don't be saying that about me and don't be talking to Rose about me. But it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. But like I said, when you were drunk and driving, you don't see how you was swerving. You don't see how you was driving real slow. You don't see how you was all over the road, because in your eyes, you driving straight. In your eyes, you are driving the speed limit. In your eyes, you got full control over that car. It is other people that have to tell you, nah, you was swerving. You was driving crazy. You see, these folks don't see themselves because they are impaired, but they still on the road. They still dating and driving while broken. This is dangerous. This is so very, very dangerous. I know a lot of people are saying zero accountability. No one's taking accountability. They can't get to accountability. It's almost like you got a friend who was driving drunk, had a bad accident. They in the hospital. They hurt. If you go to the hospital and you are there for them, more than likely in that moment, you're not going to concentrate on the logic of what they were doing while driving drunk. First, what you're going to concentrate on, you need to get better first physically. If you're in the hospital, we need to get these tubes out of you. If you're unconscious, we need to make sure you are alive. After we get through that, then we can start talking about accountability and what you might need to do separately. That's where Cam, Angie, and Rose are. We can't even talk about accountability with them because right now they are in such a deep, broken, hurt place that they need a whole lot of healing until they can figure out their part in all this. Because right now, none of them. Cam don't see what he's doing. Rose don't see what she's doing. Angie does not see what she's doing. And even Sahara don't see what she's doing. None of them see it. They see what everybody else is doing, but they don't see themselves. And that's what makes them dangerous. That's what makes it hard to be in a relationship with them, because they will never see you. They will never see your point of view. They will never understand you, because in their pain and trauma, they're so busy trying to get healed. They're so busy trying to comfort their own selves that there's no capacity to even think about you in a relationship. This is dangerous. This is very, very dangerous. When Angie said The problem with a lot of these men, and she was talking about specifically with Cam, is they want me to say exactly what I want to say. In part, she was true. What she's saying is they want me to behave so that I help them with all their traumas. She was right about that. What she was explaining was what I said about Cam. Cam wants all the women to lead with their hurt, their vulnerability, so that he can come in, rescue you, feel like the hero, and feel good. Angie was right about that. But the part about what Angie was saying was, I'm not going to be that woman. She was also leaning into her own hurt. You see? You see what I'm saying? She's being just as loyal to her trauma as she's accusing Cam of. They both are being loyal to their own trauma and then blaming each other. It's such a sick cycle. But as we moved along in the episode, we saw that Khalil and Angie got a thing going on. I don't believe it. I don't believe it one bit. Whatever it is, I'm going to tell you right now, it's sexual. Okay? So whether they're seeing each other or talking to each other, whatever it is right now, it is sexual. Because do I believe that they are a match out in the world? Absolutely not. And I'm not going to even give it that much conversation. That's all I got to say about it. Period and point blank. Everybody likes spicy Angie in the bedroom, but nobody wants spicy Angie in real life. So that's what Angie's got to be careful about. When she asked before, what's the difference between toxic and spicy? Spicy, people like in the bedroom. Toxic, they don't like. The problem with Angie and her relationships is men are drawn to her spiciness, right? Just like Eddie said, I like your spicy, but they don't want it every day. Can't nobody eat jalapeno peppers every single day. And then when they play with that spiciness too much, guess what comes out of Angie? The toxicness. That's the problem, Angie. Folks like your spiciness in the bedroom, but then what happens is when they play with it too much, just like you said, that's when your toxic part comes out. So maybe, listen, like I said, keep leading with your spiciness, but your spiciness leads to your toxicness. It's like saying, it's like what I said. You can go out and have a drink, but when you keep drinking, eventually you're going to get drunk and you're going to hurt somebody. And that's Angie. Okay? Too many jalapeno peppers leads to toxicity, Angie. That's where it takes you. This whole back and forth between Rose and Hussein, I know Hussein was frustrated. I know everybody's frustrated. You're frustrated when a person is in a conversation with you like Rose is, and she sees zero part of how she's contributing, and she can't. She can't. She is there protecting herself against so much. And all that crying is real. All that emotional pain she's feeling is real. The problem is it comes from a place long before she ever met Cam, long before she ever met Hussein. And when she tried to tell us this story about Hussein was in prison too, and to come to find out it was a story that Hussein said he shared with her back in college, where he got, I don't know, arrested, whatever he got. That is nowhere near prison. Even getting arrested, going to jail, and spending the night in jail, even if that had happened in his life in college, is nowhere near the story of her baby daddy. It's just not Rose. And for Rose to do that tells you she is willing to sacrifice you for herself. Okay? She is willing to throw you under the bus for herself. And that's why I said, I want to know how that man is in prison, because what I want to know is, did Rose throw him under the bus too? That's what I want to know. And I wouldn't put it past it for it to have happened, because you see it time and time and time again. And when Rose is up there screaming and yelling, talking about Hussein should have protected her like Cam protected Sahara. Cam was only protecting Sahara for himself. Like he just said, I protected Sahara from Fritz because I didn't want to get rid of my connection. Okay? He was protecting Sahara from Fritz because he likes to save broken women. You understand what I'm saying? You got to look to people's motivations. Rose wanted Hussein to protect her, even though the spot that they're in is because of her. Those are two different things, Rose. The protection that Cam was trying to give Sahara over Fritz is completely different from you expecting Hussein to save you from the same thing. Rose was out here broadsiding Hussein, dropping bombs on him in front of his friends, in front of his family. She was over here throwing out everything but the kitchen sink. I'm a single mother. Everything she was throwing at it. And then finally, what she said was, can we take equal responsibility? No, we need you to take full responsibility, Rose, but you can't. I get it. I know you're not ready for that. Rose says she has nothing to hide. Girl, you got everything to hide. You just told us you trying to erase a whole part of your life. You hiding a whole lot. They had a lot of other revealing moments in the episode. They was playing the game, who said what, all this other kind of stuff. We saw a lot of that before. So nothing was new there. But I guess something that was new was that Fritz and Shanice are together. I can see it. The reason why I can see Fritz and Shanice together is because I think they share two things in common. One is I do think they're a bit freaky. The part about following polygamy and all this, it doesn't mean that you do it. It just means that you find it interesting. You find it interesting. And Shanice has always led within in this whole season, she's led with a sexual component. The naked body painting, all of it, she's led with it. So the two things that I think Fritz and Shanice have in common is, one is they both love making money. Fritz is a wealth advisor. He loves making money. Shanice, we know she got money. She talked about it in the very beginning. I think they probably share that hustle, that grind. They both like making money. That's good. I remember Fritz loved to travel. So I can imagine seeing that. And they both have a bit of a freaky side to them that I think will be good for each other. So can I see Fritz and Shanice dating? I absolutely can, because I think they have a couple of things in common. I sure do. Now, when Shanice went off on Cam, I'm going to tell you what I believe. I believe that Cam did send her that message talking about, oh, you going to Spain? Can I be your boy toy? Can I go? I do think he said it. But do I think he said it because he was truly interested in actually building a connection with Shanice? No, I don't think it. Women need to learn the difference between a man who will sleep with you versus a man who really wants to be in a relationship with you. There is nothing about Shanice that Cam will be attracted to in terms of what he likes in a woman. He likes a woman he can rescue, he can save. Shanice don't need no saving. But if she's going to lead with the sex, and do I believe the part he said when Shanice was running over there talking about that she wants to come over there and get in his bed or sleep with him? I believe it. Because like I told you, I believe there's a part of Shanice that is very risque. We saw it with Cisco. I see it with Fritz. Do I believe she did it with Cam too? I do believe it. But there is a difference between wanting to sleep with you and wanting to be in a relationship with you. And I don't believe there's at a point any other time that Cam would have wanted to be in a relationship with Shanice, because she does not fit the type of woman he would want to be able to groom to be the woman he would want. Shanice does not fit that. But should she have a nice body? Would he want to rub on it, stroke it and all that? Absolutely. I believe it. Do I believe that Cam called Shanice and said, who should I pick? I believe it, because we already know that he was waffling. He couldn't figure it out. The problem with Cam is he doesn't even understand why he even waffles between these three women. Cam, you got to ask yourself, why these three women? Just like I said to Tay, why Cisco? Why Cisco? Cam, why these three women? Look at yourself, Cam, and figure out what is it about you that you like these three unique women. And Rose over there running to the ear of Angie after we find out that Rose went back and hooked up with Cam and then also slept with him. You gotta be kidding me. You mean the Proverbs woman The Proverbs woman that wants to go to church every week slept with a man who don't even believe in God. You slept with him after knowing everything you know. Rose is over here talking about Cam is into polygamy. He probably is into multiple women because he's a junkie. He's a junkie out here trying to get high with women no matter where he goes. He can't be satisfied, like I said. He can't be satisfied. That's the thing about people who are heroes and who are addicted to the type of thing that Cam is addicted to. He's going to find them out. He's going to search them out, and he's going to keep looking. Even when you think you can satisfy, he ain't going to be satisfied. He got to go look for more and more and more. And he don't want you to tie him down. Ain't no drug addict addicted to one dope seller. And alcoholics ain't always addicted to one specific type of alcohol. When they want to get drunk, they'll drink anything. Okay? And what's crazy about Rose is she's sitting over here trying to expose everybody. She trying to expose Hussein. She over here trying to expose Cam for all their low down dirty ways. And the only reason she's exposing all of them is because what she's here to do is to protect herself. In her exposing of them, she wants people to think that she's not so bad. That's all that Rose is doing. Rose act like she's over here to warn Angie. She's over here to warn Sahara. No, Rose is over here so people won't look at her so horribly. Like I said, hurt people hurt people. And Rose is in self-protection mode. She telling everybody to be careful of Cam. They should be. They absolutely should be. But she need to come with a warning sign herself, a big one. A big one. Go get some help, Rose. Go get some help. Stop dating while broken. All of you. Stop dating while broken. That's it. We'll be back for episode or part 2 when it comes back. Talk to y'all later. Bye.